The Home Learning Pack covers the 9 subject areas of English, Maths, Personal Social Health Education, PSHE, Independence, Understanding the World, Science, Creative Arts, Technology and Physical Development. Each lesson has a very similar format. There will be a lesson number at the top. This is closely followed by the equipment. This includes the things that you will need to complete the lesson, such as worksheets, pens, pencils, scissors, glue, ruler. There'll be a set of instructions related to the lesson. This will give you the outcomes and what the lesson is about. There will also be, within each of the packs and each of the lessons, examples to support your child in terms of their learning. Then each lesson will be broken down into activities, activity 1, 2 and activity 3. Activity 1 often is the easiest activities and every child should be able to complete these. Activity 2 is about the application of skills and knowledge and your child may need some support with this. Activity 3 is more independent work where children are applying their knowledge and skills to different environments and contexts. Across the 8 English lessons, we would like you to read about different celebrations, including the summer solstice and Pride, and answer some questions about what you have read. Work on pronouns and real and nonsense words, and create birthday invitations and menus to practice your writing. In the first 2 lessons, you'll be looking at celebrations and the difference between religious and secular celebrations, but also reading about other celebrations such as the summer solstice and answering questions in relation to them. In lessons 3 and 4, you'll be first of all looking at secular and then personal pronouns. Secular pronouns use and replace proper nouns. So instead of saying Mark, it would be I. There's other examples here such as you, him, she, them. And here are some examples. So the secretary notified us today, and this is your table, and I washed the car myself. Once you've had a chance to practice secular pronouns, there'll be an opportunity to practice those in terms of your writing. Personal pronouns are for people and things, such as they, her, it, and them. And again, once you've had an opportunity to practice the personal pronouns, there'll be opportunities for you to practice those in terms of your writing. In the next lessons, we'll be looking at poetry. We'll start by looking at rhyming words. Here are some examples. So we have cat with bat, and then mouse with house. We'll be then looking at how rhyming words form part of poetry. So here, the tiger has fur with stripes that are black, with sharp pointed claws, orange fur on his, and the answer to that would be back. From there then we're progressing your use of poetry to acrostic poems. So here, this is where the first letter of the poem spells a word, in this case the word of mother, and then this marvellously overflowing with love and touching the heart of everyone she reaches. So using each of those letters at the start of every sentence. In lesson 7, the woodland monster wants to create a party for all his friends. You'll be helping him by creating party invites and also helping with the menu. In the final lesson, we'll be looking at pride and reading information about what pride stands for before answering some questions in relation to the festival and events. In maths, we would like you to work on your addition and subtraction, including 1, 2 and 3 digit numbers, understand and use directions, work out perimeters in area, and develop your understanding of fractions. The first 2 lessons of maths will look at addition and subtraction. We'll be starting by some very simple addition sums, such as here where we have 2 add 4, which gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're able to use counters but also then progress onto number lines. And as we get towards the end of our maths lessons, we'll be looking at column additions where we're needing to carry numbers. So here we have 5 add 8, which gives in our units columns, which gives 13. So there's 3 there and 1 is carried. And then 1 add 4 is 5, add 1 again is 6. So this gives us the answer of 63. In terms of subtraction, we'll be using aspects such as number lines here, where we've got 14 take away 6. So we look at 14 on our number line, count back 6 to give us 8. And then we'll be looking at borrowing as we get progressively harder in terms of our subtraction in double digits. So here we have 72 minus 56. So clearly we have the 2 we need to borrow from the next column, which is why we take 7 to give us 6, which gives us 12 in here. 12 minus 6 gives us the answer of 6, and then 6 minus 5 gives us 1. So this is how we will be using techniques of borrowing in order to complete our double-digit subtractions. In lessons 3 and 4, we'll be looking at coins and notes. Here are some examples of the work that you'll be doing. So here we have coins, which is 2 pence, 5 pence, 20 pence, 10 pence, 1 pence, and 50 pence. So using 4 of these, we can look at how we can add coins together. So we might take the 1 pence and add it to 10 pence and add that to 50 pence and then add it to 5 pence. So using these 4 coins, I've been able to make 11 pence plus the 50, which is 61, plus the 5, which is 66 pence. We're progressing from using coins onto using coins and notes. So here we have 5 £1 coins. So we'll be looking at £5, and here 2 £10 notes, which gives us £20. There'll be opportunities to practice additions with coins and notes, both in a more simplistic way but also a more difficult way, so that we can ensure that all students are challenged. In the next 2 maths lessons, we'll be looking at directions and coordinates. We'll first of all think about how we describe things. So we might have here that the zebra experience is to the right of the crocodile lake, and we'll then be progressing that onto a compass point. So then if we have north, south, west and east, we can say that the zebra experience is actually east of the crocodile lake. We'll then be looking at how we use coordinates. So we must remember that as we're reading coordinates, we start reading at the bottom. So if we look at where the treasure chest is here, that starts with H, and then we go up the side. So the coordinate is 6. So the treasure chest is on H6. We'll put those in brackets so we know that they're linked together. So we'll be able to practice your use of description, of using a compass point, and also using coordinates. In lesson 7, we'll be looking at perimeter and area. Don't forget that the perimeter is the distance around the whole of the outside of the shape, whilst the area is everything that is inside the shape. There'll be opportunities to practice both calculating the perimeter and area. In the final maths lesson, lesson 8, we'll be looking at very simple fractions. So here we have an example where the shaded area here is a half, gives us a half. This is a quarter, so it gives us a quarter. This here is the whole, so this gives us the whole. And finally, this is 3 of the 4, so this is 3 quarters. So this gives us 3 quarters. So we'll be able to practice recognizing and also then using fractions. In the overall lessons, let's have a look at each individual subject in turn. We'll first of all be starting with creative arts, where you'll be working on crafting and developing some items which are used in celebrations throughout the world. In Independence, you'll first of all be doing some baking and cooking, like making some Easter treats for yourself. And then it's time to treat the family and people that you love by learning how to put the washing on, to wash up, and to make somebody a nice cup of tea to relax. In science, you'll be looking at growing your own ice cream and making your own ice cream in a bag, creating some firework displays by using some water, pens and paper, and then growing your own sugar crystals and sweets. In PSHE, you'll be looking at different celebrations and festivals throughout the world. This will include Chinese New Year and Holi. In PE, you'll be looking at different jumps. Some of these will be from distance, others will be vertical. You'll then be looking at sprinting and running, and then finally looking at throwing and catching and hitting. In the final technology sessions, you'll be first of all looking at using arts and crafts to develop things like banners and charms. Then you'll be exploring about the technology about earthquake-proof buildings and then designing your own building. Thank you for listening today. Please don't forget to take pictures of your work and to send them into school. You can use either email to do this or indeed WeDuck. Please also don't forget that each lesson is broken into a series of activities. Activities 1 and 2 tend to be able to be done more independently by students, where lesson 3 tend to be a lot harder and students may need your support to be able to undertake those activities successfully. Thank you.